Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we are ready some stories from r/today I FD up. Let's get into the stories. Today I FD up by giving my eyes second-degree burns. From Punkshifter. This happened about 2 years ago, but I think it's high time I tell my most shameful work story. So I'm a cook, working the sauté station on a weekday night. I have glasses, but think they make me look dorky, so I don't wear them often. Took a steak in a pan out of the oven and worked it on the stovetop for a minute before transferring the steak to a cutting board to rest. About a minute later my chef tells me the pan is on fire, because I had forgotten to turn off the burner, and the pan is in flames with all the oil/steak fat. I respond immediately by taking the first pan in sight, which happened to be the stack fresh from the dish pit. Since the bottom of the pan was wet, usually smothering a fire like this foolproof, the water on the bottom met with the oil and vaporized. The edge of the pan's perfectly lined up to hit just my eyes, vigilante mask style. It was horrible. Thankfully didn't scream, but Jesus did that hurt. My chef saw and immediately ran to the dish pit to fill a huge bowl of cool clean water, then dragged my ass there and dunked my head in telling me to blink for a solid minute. Thank you, chef. After about 10 minutes of the saline wash we had at work and the amount of pain, I got a ride to the hospital. So got to the ER and got both eyeballs flushed with a liter of saline each, which involved me being strapped to a table inverted so my feet were in the air and my face was by the ground with thick-ass plastic bitches in my eyes to give the saline wash. Bonus points cost the basin to catch the saline got fucked up and spilled it all over the floor, and when the cleaning guy came in, just looked at me with a mixture of fear, anxiety and hope, asked, "Is that water?" Got transferred to another hospital because it was 11 or so at that point and I needed to see an eye specialist, so one ambulance ride later I was in a hospital stall deal, crying in pain, with nurses coming every so often, but not enough since I wasn't given any pain medicine besides numbing eye drops strictly administered by the nurses. At this point, nobody was saying anything reassuring about my vision, which was very concerning. I honestly thought I'd have severe permanent damage to my eyes and vision. Eventually I got discharged, after like 6 hours and at 3 in the morning, with a shit ton of meds, and saw an eye specialist the next day who gave me more stuff to put in my eyeballs, a medicated contact lens for the eye that got the worst, and those good numbing eye drops. Ended up with burns not only on my corneas, but my eyelids, the corners of my eyes, and below my eyes. One of the burns actually looked like a huge cat eye. Needless to say, quite painful to happen and to recover from. 3 weeks off work, most of it spent in the dark, and getting new glasses because I didn't wear them at work. My vision is significantly worse than before, but nothing the glasses can't fix. Lesson learned. TLDR, burned my eyeballs at work with a stupid mistake without my glasses and spent 6 hours in the hospital and 3 weeks off of work for it. Now the glasses are needed cause my vision is shittier. Today I FD up by accidentally disclosing confidential military documents. From lonely_pin_3586. Today, I organized an escape game in a convention. The object of the game was to find in 30 minutes who was the traitor among different people, by solving several trials, in an atmosphere of a military secret society. Each test gave access to a password, allowing access to encrypted files. These files contain indications of the next ordeal, evidence of betrayals and false leads. For this, I used my work computer, generating a new Windows profile. This way, players can only use a completely empty tail, which only contains the escape game files. It is still possible to access files from my main account from this temporary account, but it requires using my password, which is ultra secure. And this is where the problem comes. A few months ago, I had worked on a confidential army project as part of my studies. This file was the last one I had opened with my PDF reader. And, for some reason, the PDF reader gave access to the reading history even from the empty account. Which means that I let many players read the document in full, being convinced that it was part of the test, until at the end of the day a player complimented me on the realism of this file, thinking it was a red herring. Even if the document was confidential, it had already been revealed to my school for a project where the army had mandated us, so the information was not really sensitive. But I still panicked a little. TLDR, I made an escape game using my personal computer, on which there were some confidential military documents. Despite my measurements, the players were able to read it, and we read it in full thinking that it was part of the test. Today I FD up by forgetting about my other Bluetooth device. From Miyamono 2005. Literally happened 5 minutes ago, still getting sick from thinking about it. When I play games I always connect my headset to my phone so that the video audio that I'm playing in the background comes in through the headset and is easier to hear. It was getting late, so I decided to turn off my console and went to bed. I turned off the console, but not the headset BC. It turns itself off after 5 minutes, too lazy to just hold a button down for 3 seconds to turn it off. Before falling asleep, I decided to take a wank. Around this time is when my brother came home, and couple minutes after I went to my room, he went into his room to turn on the console, and this was happening while I was scouting through the internet to find something to wank off to. I had AirPods in while doing the devil's deed, and in the middle of jacking off, the sound suddenly cuts out but the video keeps on playing. That's weird, maybe that section of the video just doesn't have audio? I play back 15 seconds of the video. Still no sound. I turn on the volume to max. Still no sound. I check my Bluetooth. It's connected to the headset as my brother turns on the console. I frantically put away everything in a minute and started stressing, and am praying on the off chance that he didn't immediately put the headset on and couldn't hear the sounds. BC, as far as I can tell, he's just playing like nothing happened. I might not come home tomorrow from school till 10 p.m. just to avoid him. TLDR, my laziness caused my phone to connect a brother's headset through Bluetooth while I was having a wank. Today I FD up by going into someone's apartment on a first date. From throwaway. A few weeks ago, I, 29F, matched with a girl, 30F, who I'll refer to as Amy, on a dating app. We hit it off well, and soon moved to texting. After some spicy text exchanges, we planned a date for the coming weekend that included dinner and spending the night together doing all the things we talked about. Prior to the date, we had a discussion about things that were important to us in a relationship. Amy told me that she was okay with me being non-religious and her being Jewish, but she did want me to respect her religion and take some interest in it. However, she did not expect me to convert. I agreed that this sounded completely reasonable. This will be important later. The day of the date comes, I meet up with her, and we go up to her apartment, where I am immediately greeted by her Yorkie. And by greeted, I mean the thing would not stop charging and barking at me. This continued throughout the entire time I was there, and would get even more intense anytime I got up to move. All was going fine-ish until after dinner. We decided to play Mario Kart, and after Amy realized I was very good at it, she demanded I unlock all of the tracks for her while she sat back and watched. When I said no because I didn't want to sit there and awkwardly play video games by myself, she proceeded to have what felt like the beginning of a minor meltdown. A while after Amy composed herself, she brought up the topic of Judaism. It was then that she dropped the ultimatum that I needed to convert to conservative Judaism or else she wouldn't marry me. Amy then began to tell me that she believed interfaith marriages were basically ethnic cleansing. This was entirely contradictory to what she had told me before the date, and needless to say, I was done. At this point it was already past 1 a.m., so I decided to stay and leave immediately in the morning because I wasn't comfortable driving around that late at night. Seriously, DMV drivers are crazy enough in the daytime. So bedtime comes and I go into her room to find that it reeks of dog piss and perfume. Turns out, she's too lazy to take her crazy Yorkie on walks, so she just lets it pee on puppy pads and covers up the stench with perfume. I go to bed, disappointed that nothing went as planned that night. The next morning, which also happens to be my birthday, I wake up at around 8 a.m. She's still fast asleep, but I can't get up or else the dog will go nuts. She sleeps in until nearly 11 a.m., so I'm laying there for hours unable to move, hungry, and needing to pee. As soon as she's up, I start packing up my stuff and getting the hell out of there. But not before the dog bites me on the upper calf. I get home and check my dating profile to see she unmatched me, no major loss there. We had discussed ghosting before the date and she told me how much it's happened to her. Gee, I wonder why, so I decided to do the right thing and text her to let her know this isn't going to work out. She texts back and has the audacity to say that I'm the issue for things not working out. Screw me for not wanting to change a major part of myself to fit the mold for the type of wife she wants, right? So here I am on my birthday, reeking of whatever perfume she had sprayed all over her bed, nursing a dog bite on my leg, and not having the night I expected. Lesson learned: never go to somebody's home on a first date. At the very least, my birthday improved after that. I invited my best friend over, where we laughed over my crazy first date story and ate chocolate cake. Then for dinner, I made myself a pork chop with a butter sauce out of pure spite. Update: I went to the doctor and they gave me a tetanus shot and antibiotics. I was able to contact Amy and she was at least cooperative enough to send the dog's vaccination documents, so no rabies shot for me. I realize now how fucked up it was to stick around on that date as long as I did, but that's why we're here, isn't it? It was definitely a big fuck up on my part and I won't be that patient with someone again. TLDR, my date gave me the convert to my religion where we can't get married ultimatum on the first date. I was stuck in her home the entire night, her dog bit my leg, and I didn't get laid. Today FD up by getting stuck in the snow. From my other fun login. Tafo, yesterday, by apparently pissing off the goddess Karma, and she decided to seek her revenge by smiting me repeatedly for the entire evening. There is no one single action that led to my afternoon of fuck-ups, it was more like an accumulation of errors that I seem to have a knack for. To begin my story, it all starts one cold sleeting day in the dreary northern Midwest. My boyfriend asks me if I can go and pick him up some windshield part for his snowmobile. Sure thing, I say. And why not? He's been kind of grouchy with me lately, so it's an easy way for me to get on his good side. I ask, where's the store at? Oh no, it's a marketplace deal. Okay, not super excited, but okay. He sends me the address and of course it's out in the sticks. Freaking great, just what I want to do, meet random people in the boonies. I've seen this documentary before. I convince myself to go anyways, and I leave work an hour early because I sure don't want to be looking for someone's house in the country also in the dark. It's not that far away, but a good 45-minute drive. So I'm driving along, and my phone is routing me along through a nice ride in the countryside. Except it's not a nice ride. Anyone that lives up here knows that yesterday it warmed up and started to rain. Then the rain turned to sleet, then the sleet froze the ground. And that's where the story goes downhill. Driving down this back road and I go and turn the steering wheel for a turn. Well, Karma says, turning that steering wheel, that's only a suggestion. And off the road into some snow I go. Now I was driving slowly, but obviously not slow enough, and I didn't go down into a ditch or anything like that. So that's Tafoo number 1. I try and back up and my car just laughs at me. Awesome. Get out to check to see if I messed something up on the car, and fortunately I had not, just stuck on ice and snow. Okay, well, like a good Midwestern girl, I've got some of this traction stuff that's supposed to give you traction on ice, no big of a deal. Well, just a life pro tip, the stuff I had must have been kitty litter, and it did nothing. I may as well have used dirt except the ground is freaking frozen. Tafoo number 2, buying useless products. After messing around with my kitty litter and stuck car, I was about to throw in the towel and call for help. Luckily, it turned out it was not luckily, some people stopped to help. Should have trusted my instincts, stranger danger, but I was also in a bit of a predicament. They come up to my car, and were a little scruffy but came across very nice. After talking with them for a few minutes explaining the situation, they tried to help push my car out, but it didn't work. Then they suggested to let one of them try and rock my car, and I'll help push. Okay, why not? Not going anywhere anyways. One of the guys gets in the car, and me and the other guy then get to try and help push my car out of the snow, and that doesn't work either. Tafoo number 3. After trying that for 5 to 10 minutes, we give up. It's crappy out, the sleet is melting on my clothes, I'm getting cold and damp, Winifred is stuck. They tell me good luck, but they have to go. I'm not worried though, I'll call someone to tow me out. They leave, and I get back into my car. So here's Tafoo number 3. The guy in my car stole my phone and money for the windshield. I suppose I asked for it leaving them out, but damn. How the heck am I going to call someone? And I sure hope my screen was locked. Phones have good security, right? So I sit and feel sorry for myself for a good 15 minutes, but mostly to warm up. At this point I'm feeling pretty beat down, but it's borderline full dark and starting to get colder. I grab my extra sweater from the back and decide to start walking to find a place to make a call. Don't ask me what the thought process was there, but I had to do something, right? Well, the good part is Karma must have had enough fun smiting me for the day, because about 5 minutes up the road was a snowmobile trail crossing, and I ran into a group at just the right time. Why were they out in crap weather? I don't ask for these details. They were super nice, gave me a ride to my car, and pulled and pushed poor Winnie to freedom. Took them like 2 minutes. I then thanked my rescuers profusely, and we go on our ways. Them to have fun, need to return home in utter defeat. TLDR got my car stuck, got my phone and money stolen, let my B/F down not picking up his stuff. Thank you for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe for more Reddit comment videos. Check the description for the original post from Reddit. Good luck to everyone today.